Imagine a voice so steeped in the golden era of funk and soul. It sounds like it's been waiting, well, basically a lifetime to be heard.
Hmm.
A voice that carries the weight of decades, raw emotion, and this just undeniable spirit that grabs you by the heart and refuses to let go.
It really does.
Today, we're embarking on a profound, deep dive into the extraordinary, often heartbreaking, yet I think ultimately triumphant life and career of Charles Bradley,
Yeah.
known affectionately and powerfully as the Screaming Eagle of Soul.
And what's truly fascinating here isn't just the sheer power of the music itself, which is, I mean, it's utterly captivating, right?
Completely.
But it's the remarkable, almost unbelievable journey that produced it. We're going to explore how a man could endure decades of, well, profound obscurity and hardship experiences that would break most people, frankly,
Absolutely.
only to find global recognition and critical acclaim finally reaching him in his early 50s. This truly raises an important question for all of us, I think. What does it take to not only find your authentic voice, both literally and figuratively,
Right.
but to possess that unwavering resilience to share it with the world against all odds, even when it feels like time has almost, irreversibly run out?
That's precisely the heart of this deep dive. You've provided us with this fantastic array of sources detailing every facet of Bradley's life, from his earliest, most profound struggles and personal losses, to that late career explosion that captivated audiences across the globe. Our mission, for you, our dedicated listener, is to not just recount his story, but to really extract the most important nuggets of knowledge and insight from all this rich material.
Get into the weeds a bit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We want to understand the man behind that unforgettable sound, to truly grasp what fueled his extraordinary emotional delivery, and maybe most importantly, what his story means for anyone out there chasing a dream, no matter how long it takes, no matter how many seemingly insurmountable obstacles stand in their way.
It's quite the tale.
So let's chart his incredible course. From a childhood marked by abandonment and displacement,
Yeah.
through years of literally living on the streets and taking on countless odd jobs, to his serendipitous discovery as a James Brown impersonator.
Which is a story in itself.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
His eventual hard-won rise as an original recording artist with the legendary Daptone Records, and finally his enduring legacy that continues to inspire.
Hell of a journey.
Okay, so as we delve deeper, his formative years quickly reveal why his music holds such profound weight. Charles Bradley's story isn't merely about the songs he sang. It's a powerful testament to this incredible resilience that was forged in the crucible of a truly, truly difficult life. Born Charles Edward Bradley in Gainesville, Florida, November 5, 1948. His early experiences didn't just passively inform his art.
No, not at all.
They quite literally set a powerful stage, creating the very foundation for the depths of raw, unvarnished emotion he would later convey in every single note. It's hard to overstate the impact of this early foundation, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. If we truly connect this to the bigger picture, understanding his background is not just crucial, it's essential to appreciating the profound authenticity of his entire retro soul sound.
Right.
His personal experiences weren't just, abstract lyrical inspirations he pulled from. They were deeply embedded in the very fabric of his vocal delivery.
You can hear it.
You really can. Critics often drew striking comparisons between Bradley and iconic figures like Otis Redding.
Yeah, that comparison comes up a lot.
It does. And when you listen to the raw, almost palpable pain and vulnerability in his voice, you can hear how those life experiences resonated so deeply with the emotive styles of those soul legends.
Yeah.
It wasn't a performance or an act.
No.
It was his truth laid bare. For instance, the way his voice would crack or strain, reaching for those high notes. That isn't just technique. It's the sound of a man who has lived through every word he sings. It's a direct echo of the struggles we're about to unpack here.
So let's start there. That early adversity and relocation, it's pretty staggering.
It really is. Bradley was tragically abandoned by his mother at just 8 months old.
8 months.
Yeah, a formative experience that would undoubtedly shape his sense of attachment and belonging for the rest of his life. He was subsequently raised by his maternal grandmother in Gainesville, Florida,
Okay.
which provided, some semblance of stability during those tender years. But this fragile peace was disrupted at age 8.
Right, his mother came back.
Exactly. His mother reappeared and moved him to Brooklyn, New York. Just imagine the stark contrast for a second. A young boy plucked from the rural South, a relatively quiet existence,
Yeah.
and thrust into the bustling, often unforgiving concrete jungle of Brooklyn.
It's a world away.
Completely. This early displacement, this constant familial instability of being moved back and forth, became a key thread in his narrative. It contributed to a profound sense of longing, a search for belonging, and an underlying feeling of being an outsider that permeated his life and, by extension, every soulful note he ever sang. It sort of imprinted upon him this sense of detachment, a feeling of being other, even within his own family structure sometimes.
And it was in Brooklyn, amidst all that geographical and emotional upheaval, that a truly profound spark was ignited.
Yeah, the Apollo.
The Apollo. 1962, he's 14 years old. His sister takes him to see the legendary James Brown perform live.
Can you imagine?
I mean, you could almost feel the electricity in the air, the raw energy, the showmanship, the pure, unadulterated soul just blasting from that stage. For young Charles, this wasn't just a concert. It was a profound, life-altering epiphany.
Totally.
He was so utterly inspired by that performance that he immediately started mimicking Brown's dynamic singing and his electrifying stage mannerisms at home.
Practicing in the mirror.
Exactly. Practicing relentlessly, studying every move, every guttural cry, every precise shuffle. This wasn't just a casual hobby or even like a simple childhood obsession.
No, it was deeper.
It was the foundational groundwork for what would eventually become his entire career, a destiny he wouldn't fully realize for decades, obviously, but one that took root in that hallowed hall. He basically internalized Brown's performance, using it as a blueprint for his own burgeoning, yet still unformed artistic identity.
But that burgeoning dream was soon overshadowed by renewed and severe hardship.
Right, because at just 14, the same pivotal age, he discovered his idol.
Yeah, the irony.
He ran away from home.
To escape what were described in our sources as incredibly poor and untenable living conditions specifically, a basement bedroom with a sand floor.
A sand floor. I mean, just think about the stark reality of that for a moment.
Just hard to fathom.
This wasn't just discomfort. It was a stark symbol of extreme poverty, neglect, and a complete lack of basic amenities.
Absolutely. For 2 harrowing years, he lived on the harsh streets during the day, navigating the constant dangers, the hunger, the uncertainties of urban life, and found transient shelter by sleeping nights in subway cars.
Just trying to stay warm, stay safe.
Exactly. Seeking any warmth or safety he could find. This period highlights an extreme level of precarity, a daily fight for basic survival that very few people ever experience.
But even then, he showed this drive, didn't he?
He did. Demonstrating an early and powerful drive for self-sufficiency, he eventually enlisted in Job Corps, which is, a federal program designed to help at-risk youth. This program offered him much-needed structure, vocational training, and a pathway to a different life. It ultimately led him to Bar Harbor, Maine, a complete change of scenery.
From Brooklyn to Maine.
Yeah, where he trained as a chef, a skill that would provide him with a crucial livelihood for many, many years to come. This period of his life, I think, must have instilled in him a profound appreciation for stability, no matter how fleeting it might have been.
And it was in Maine, after years of struggle, that he had his very first taste of performing for a live audience.
Yeah, a glimpse of the future.
A moment that must have felt like a dizzying glimpse into a completely different, more hopeful future. A coworker, maybe noticing his resemblance to James Brown, or hearing him sing, outright asked him if he could perform.
But he was shy, wasn't he?
Terribly shy. Despite his deep-seated desire to be on stage, he was initially incredibly shy, battling severe stage fright. The story goes, it took a crew member literally pushing him through the curtains onto the stage.
Wow.
For him to take that terrifying yet exhilarating leap. He ended up performing 5 or 6 times with a local band, getting that initial intoxicating rush of connecting with an audience, of feeling the power of his voice.
But it didn't last.
No, tragically short-lived. A cruel twist of fate for such a young, emerging talent. His bandmates were soon drafted into the Vietnam War.
The draft.
Yeah, and the act, sadly, never reformed. It's just a stark and painful reminder of the era's profound and often devastating impact on individual lives, on personal dreams, and on the very fabric of society, snatching away opportunities just as they began to bloom.
Indeed. Following that brief glimpse of a musical career, what we see is this remarkable period of wandering and incredible perseverance that spanned decades.
Decades.
He continued to work in Maine as a cook for 10 years, honing his culinary skills. But clearly, the open road and perhaps that deeper calling continued to beckon him.
Right?
He then decided to head west, embarking on an arduous journey across the country by hitchhiking, truly living a nomadic existence.
Hitchhiking across the country.
Yeah. His travels took him to a multitude of places, upstate New York, Seattle, across the border to Canada, even as far as the rugged wilderness of Alaska,
Wow.
before he finally settled in California in 1977. For the next 2 decades, 20 long years.
20 years.
He continued to work a dizzying variety of odd jobs, doing whatever he could, from cooking to manual labor, just to make ends meet and survive.
But the music was still there.
Yeah, always. All the while, he never truly abandoned his dream, playing small shows, whatever and wherever the opportunity arose. It was during this extensive period that he frequently earned extra money doing James Brown performances in local clubs.
Under those stage names.
Exactly, often adopting various stage names like the Screaming Eagle of Soul, a moniker that would later define him globally, as well as Black Velvet and even James Brown Jr.
Right.
This long, arduous period clearly illustrates his persistent, unwavering, almost desperate connection to music, despite the consistent lack of major success or widespread recognition. It shows a man who, no matter what curveballs life threw at him, kept a crucial part of his dream alive, even if it was just in dimly lit local venues.
Yeah.
Performing for small, appreciative crowds, he was honing his craft, even if he didn't realize it fully at the time, just waiting for his moment.
So if you're listening to this, what might we glean from this particular stage of Charles Bradley's journey? I mean, from being abandoned as a baby and shuffled between guardians, to literally living on the streets, to constantly traveling the country and taking on any job he could find. You can see how his life was already this sprawling, bluesy song of struggle, survival, and relentless perseverance.
It really was.
This was long before he ever stepped into a professional recording studio and before he ever shared his own authentic voice with the world. Every single note he would later sing, every guttural cry and soaring falsetto would be steeped in these deep, profound, and often painful life experiences, giving his music an authenticity that few could ever truly match.
This next chapter of his life reveals an astonishing turning point, and it raises an important question. How does one finally find and embrace their authentic artistic voice after years, even decades, of embodying another, of channeling an idol like James Brown?
Yeah, how do you make that shift?
Bradley's journey took another pivotal turn when he returned to Brooklyn.
Back to Brooklyn.
Yeah, the very place of his childhood struggles, and ironically, the city that would ultimately lead to his discovery and the unfolding of his true artistic self. The circularity of his journey back to Brooklyn is profound, isn't it? Almost faded.
It really feels that way. So this was the mid-90s.
That's right, the mid-1990s. His mother reached out and called him back to Brooklyn, expressing this complex desire to finally get to know him after a lifetime of estrangement.
Which must have been complicated.
Oh, undoubtedly bittersweet. On one hand, it offered a potential chance for reconciliation and understanding, for healing old wounds. But on the other, it brought him back to the very environment where he had endured so much hardship and trauma.
Right.
Back in Brooklyn, he continued to make a living, or at least supplement his meager income, by diligently moonlighting as a James Brown impersonator in local clubs.
Still Black Velvet.
Still performing under his well-known stage name, Black Velvet. This period, however, was far from one of ease or comfort. It was still profoundly marked by severe difficulties and even more profound trauma.
Yeah, the sources mention some really tough things.
They do. He suffered a near-fatal allergic reaction to penicillin, highlighting his precarious health situation and the constant presence of danger.
Wow.
And in a truly heartbreaking event, he awoke at his mother's house to the commotion of police and ambulances, only to discover his brother had been tragically murdered close by.
Oh my God, that's just horrific.
Absolutely horrific. These continuous, often brutal challenges truly underline the relentless stream of adversity in his life and how he somehow managed to keep going, to keep performing, to keep that flame of music alive despite overwhelming personal grief and danger.
It's almost unbelievable, the sheer weight of what he carried, the constant struggle. But it was during these tireless performances as Black Velvet in Brooklyn's smaller venues that fate finally intervened in a decisive way.
Yes, the Daptone connection.
He was discovered by Gabriel Roth, also known by his musical alias Bosco Man,
Bosco Man here.
who was a visionary co-founder of the highly influential Daptone Records.
And Roth's vision and Daptone's entire revivalist approach to funk and soul music were just perfectly aligned with Bradley's deeply ingrained style and extensive lived experience.
It was like a perfect storm, musically.
Absolutely. Daptone wasn't looking for a modern, polished sound. Quite the opposite. They were celebrating and meticulously recreating the authentic, raw, and deeply soulful feel of the 1960s and 1970s.
Right, using vintage gear, analog recording.
The whole 9 yards, using vintage equipment, analog recording techniques, and a focus on live instrumentation. For them, Charles Bradley wasn't just a singer with a good voice. He was a living embodiment of that golden era.
A time capsule, almost.
In a way, yeah. A true vessel for unadulterated, old-school soul, untouched by contemporary trends. His voice carried the dust and grit of a bygone era, exactly what Daptone was championing.
And this connection with Daptone then led to another truly crucial partnership, didn't it? With Tom Brennick.
That's right, one that would fundamentally shape Bradley's artistic identity. Roth introduced Bradley to his future producer and collaborator, Tom Brennick.
From the Bullets, Menahan Street Band.
Exactly. A talented songwriter and guitarist for the label's house bands. Brennick invited Bradley to a band rehearsal, and this moment fundamentally shifted Bradley's artistic trajectory away from pure impersonation.
How so?
Well, instead of asking him to sing pre-written songs, Bradley made this unique and profoundly telling request. He asked the band to simply play a groove while he improvised lyrics on the spot.
Wow, just riffing off his own life.
Basically, yeah. This spontaneous, deeply collaborative process was revolutionary for Bradley. It allowed his raw, emotional honesty, his decades of lived experiences, and his authentic voice to shine through in an unparalleled way without the filter of preconceived notions.
So he wasn't performing anymore, he was creating.
Exactly. It was an environment where his deep well of personal history could directly fuel his artistry, unfiltered, allowing the true Charles Bradley, not James Brown Jr., to emerge. He was finally being asked to be himself, and he had an entire lifetime of material just waiting to pour out.
And from this incredibly fertile, collaborative, creative ground, the very first recordings of Charles Bradley as an original artist began to emerge.
The early singles.
Yeah. Daptone, known for its dedication to the authentic sound and physical format of soul music, started releasing these initial recordings on vinyl singles, or 45s.
Those little records, yeah.
Beginning in 2002.
Yeah.
These weren't just practice sessions or experimental tracks. They were crucial, deliberate steps towards his eventual debut album, meticulously crafted.
We're talking about specific early singles like the powerful Take It As It Come, Take One in 2002, recorded with Sugarman & Co.
Okay.
The deeply emotive Now That I'm Gone, Look How You're Crying in 2004 with the Bullets. And the incredibly potent The World Is Going Up in Flames in 2007, a collaboration with the Menahan Street Band.
That one really hit hard.
It did. Each of these tracks was a vital piece of the puzzle, building anticipation and slowly but surely introducing the world to this incredible, previously hidden talent. The World Is Going Up in Flames, for instance, with its driving rhythm and Bradley's pained, urgent vocals.
Yeah.
It immediately captured the feeling of a world in turmoil, directly reflecting the hardships he knew so well. These singles allowed him to refine his unique voice and delivery, transitioning from a celebrated impersonator to a truly original artist, one raw, heartfelt note at a time.
Okay, let's reflect on this pivotal moment. After literal decades of channeling the spirit and sound of James Brown, performing as an impersonator for survival and passion, Charles Bradley was finally encouraged, no, truly empowered, to find and unleash his own voice. And that voice, distinct and powerful, was fueled by every single one of his lived experiences, every struggle, every heartache, every fleeting moment of triumph. This wasn't just a record deal for him. It was a profound, deeply personal validation of his entire difficult, winding, and often painful life story.
It really was. It was as if the universe, through Daptone Records, was finally saying, "We hear you, Charles. Your story, in your own words, matters."
Finally, here's where the narrative truly accelerates. And frankly, it's absolutely mind-boggling when you consider the sheer unlikelihood of it all.
It really is something.
After all those years in the shadows, all those odd jobs, all those nights sleeping in subway cars, 2011 marked the undeniable, explosive launch of Charles Bradley as a global force in music. Can you even imagine waiting until you're 62 years old to release your debut album?
It's staggering. In an industry obsessed with youth, this was truly unprecedented. Most artists are well into their careers or even thinking about retirement by that age.
Right.
But for Charles, it was just the beginning of his public recognition.
And what's truly fascinating here is how his debut wasn't merely a collection of songs. It was a profound culmination of his life's struggles and hard-won triumphs.
Exactly. A deeply personal narrative set to music. It resonated immediately with audiences and critics alike precisely because of its profound authenticity.
You felt it was real.
Completely. Every crack in his voice, every guttural cry, every soaring falsetto felt utterly earned, a direct transmission of his soul. And what made this even more impactful was that his musical breakthrough was then powerfully amplified by a documentary.
Right, Soul of America.
That shared his incredible, very human, personal story with the world, adding layers of essential context to his already captivating sound. It transformed him from an intriguing voice to an inspiring icon.
So let's talk about No Time for Dreaming, released in 2011, the debut.
The breakthrough debut album, yeah. And its title alone spoke volumes about his journey, didn't it?
Absolutely. No time left to waste.
Exactly. Producer Tom Brennick and Charles Bradley carefully selected 10 of those initial, raw, heartfelt recordings they had been diligently working on for this pivotal release.
And it just took off.
It really did. This album wasn't just good, it was an immediate phenomenon within the soul and indie music scenes, quickly establishing his unique, powerful sound and his incredibly heartfelt delivery, garnering significant critical attention right out of the gate.
What were the critics saying?
They hailed it as a genuine throwback, an album that sounded like it had been unearthed from a forgotten vault of 1960s soul.
Right.
It introduced the screaming eagle of soul as a true original, a voice that was both deeply rooted in classic soul traditions, echoing his idol James Brown, obviously.
Yeah, you hear the influence.
But yet powerfully contemporary in its emotional resonance. This album made it unequivocally clear that while he had channeled James Brown for years, Charles Bradley was very much his own man, with his own profound story to tell, his own unique anguish and joy to express.
And then the world got an even deeper, more intimate look into his extraordinary journey with the release of Soul of America.
The documentary, yeah, in 2012.
This film was directed by Paul Bryan, who had first met Bradley while directing the music video for The World is Going Up in Flames.
That's right. So he already had a pre-existing connection and understanding of Charles's artistry and persona.
Which probably helped capture that authenticity.
I think so. The documentary premiered at the prestigious South by Southwest SXSW Film Festival in Austin, Texas, in the spring of 2012 to widespread critical acclaim and deeply moved audiences.
What did it cover, specifically?
It provided this incredibly powerful, immersive narrative covering basically every facet of his extraordinary life, his challenging childhood in Florida, those harrowing days of homelessness and profound heartache on the streets of New York, his tireless black velvet gigs where he honed his craft and waited for his moment.
Right.
And ultimately his blossoming career touring the world and recording at Daptone Records. The film even included captivating footage of his electrifying performances at festivals worldwide, capturing the raw energy he brought to the stage.
So you really saw the whole journey.
You did. This documentary wasn't just a companion piece to the album. It was instrumental in introducing his raw, honest, and truly inspiring story to a much wider global audience, showing them the real man behind the magnificent voice, allowing them to connect with his resilience on a deeply personal level.
So, as you reflect on Charles Bradley's journey, culminating in a debut album at 62, and this documentary that captured his very essence, what might this story compel us, the listener, to reconsider about the timing of our own aspirations?
It's a huge question.
Or the untapped potential within our own life experiences. Bradley's journey is such a powerful, undeniable reminder that it is genuinely never too late to pursue what your soul aches to do.
Absolutely. It powerfully illustrates that your life experiences, no matter how tough, how painful, or how long they've stretched out, can actually be the very fuel, the very source material for your greatest creations, your most authentic expressions.
Yeah.
His story is truly a blueprint for perseverance, for holding on to hope against the longest odds, and for having the courage to finally truly be yourself no matter how much time has passed. It tells us that profound artistry and greatness can emerge from the most unexpected places and at the most unexpected times.
It really challenges our whole notion of timelines for success.
Exactly. And if we connect those to the broader trajectory of an artist's career, Bradley's subsequent albums weren't merely follow-ups to a successful debut.
No, he kept going.
He kept going. They were profound further explorations of his unique voice and continued to cement his place as a vital, irreplaceable figure in contemporary soul music. This consistent output, this sustained artistic momentum, demonstrated that his debut was not a fluke,
Right.
but the beginning of a true late-career artistic flourishing. He had found his stride, and the world was undeniably ready and eager to listen to everything he had to offer.
So the second album was Victim of Love.
That's right. Victim of Love, released on April 2, 2013, just 2 years after his stunning debut.
Pretty quick turnaround.
Relatively, yeah, especially given how long he waited for the first one.
Right.
This album continued to meticulously build on the immense critical success and the distinctive, raw, powerful sound established by No Time for Dreaming. It further showcased his remarkable ability to deliver deeply emotional performances, cementing his reputation for heartfelt, almost painfully honest soul music. Critically, Victim of Love explored themes of, well, love, naturally, but often through the lens of heartache and struggle, reflecting his own complicated experiences with relationships. It proved that his debut wasn't just a flash in the pan, but the initiation of a new, vibrant, and creatively fertile chapter for him as an artist.
He wasn't a one-hit wonder.
Not at all. He was an artist with a clear vision, an abundance of material born from a lifetime of experience, and a growing confidence in his unique artistic voice.
And then came his third album, Changes, in 2016. This one felt different, maybe. Had a big moment.
It did. Changes, released on April 1st, 2016. This album really captivated audiences and critics alike, not just for its original material, but for one particular track.
The Black Sabbath cover.
The Black Sabbath cover. While it featured many of his deeply powerful originals, it also included that incredibly surprising and remarkably powerful cover of the iconic Black Sabbath song, Changes.
Which is such an unexpected choice, right?
Yeah.
Heavy metal ballad to soul anthem.
Totally unexpected. What stood out so profoundly about this choice was how he completely transformed this heavy metal ballad, originally a piano-driven lament, into a soaring, deeply emotional soul anthem.
He made his own.
Completely. He made it entirely his own, infusing it with his signature pain, vulnerability, and a newfound sense of reflective wisdom, proving his immense artistic versatility and his unparalleled ability to reinterpret material in a way that was uniquely, unmistakably Charles Bradley.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a cover, it was a profound reimagination, a testament to how true soul can transcend genre boundaries.
And beyond that cover, the album also included the original song, Change for the World, which ended up having this whole other life later on.
That's right. It later gained significant posthumous popularity as the theme song for seasons 1 to 3 of the critically acclaimed dark comedy crime drama TV series Barry.
With Bill Hader. Yeah.
Starring Bill Hader. This unexpected crossover appeal with a mainstream, popular TV show is an incredibly interesting detail, further extending his reach and introducing his timeless music to entirely new audiences who might not have otherwise discovered him.
It's amazing how music finds its way.
It really is. And throughout this period of consistent recording and releasing acclaimed albums, Charles Bradley remained, at his very core, a live performer.
Oh, absolutely. The live shows were legendary.
They really were. He continued to perform extensively, often alongside other talented Daptone artists, creating truly memorable and often electric experiences for audiences around the world. Events like the Hamilton, Ontario Supercrawl in 2014, where he commanded the stage, or his powerful appearances as part of the broader Daptone Super Soul Review were absolute highlights, showcasing the collective talent and raw energy of the label, with Bradley always a standout.
What was it about his stage presence?
His dynamic stage presence, his profound, almost spiritual, emotional connection with the audience, and his signature move like dropping to his knees or tossing roses into the crowd.
Yeah, the roses.
Were the unmistakable hallmarks of his performances. He didn't just sing the songs, he lived them on stage, pouring his entire being, his entire life story into every single note, making each concert a truly unforgettable and deeply moving experience for everyone present.
You felt that connection.
Absolutely. He was known for making direct eye contact, for reaching out, for making every person in the room feel seen and connected to his incredible story.
So what aspects of this period, from Victim of Love to Changes and those powerful live shows, particularly resonate with you?
It's not just the sheer quality of the music across these albums, which is consistently high,
Right.
but the depth and the incredible variety of his artistry. From those profoundly heartfelt originals, born directly from his personal history and pain, to taking on and completely reimagining a Black Sabbath classic, Bradley showed the world that he was a true, uncompromising artist. He was constantly pushing his own boundaries, exploring new interpretations, and sharing his immense, hard-won talent with the world, leaving no emotional stone unturned. His voice was truly unchained, wasn't it? Finally free to express the full, complex spectrum of his life's experiences.
Absolutely. A voice finally unleashed. Here's where Charles Bradley's story takes an incredibly poignant and deeply sad turn.
Yeah, this part is tough.
Just as he was truly soaring, finally reaching the heights of recognition and adoration he had so profoundly deserved for so long, his extraordinary journey took an unexpected and devastating turn. Yet, even in the face of this, his powerful, unique voice continues to resonate, echoing far beyond his physical presence, an enduring force.
And this final chapter raises an important and deeply human question for us. How does an artist's body of work take on new and even deeper meaning after their passing? And how do we, as listeners and as a society, ensure that their profound legacy endures for future generations? Bradley's final years, tragically marked by illness, and the subsequent posthumous releases of his music, speak volumes about his immense impact and the lasting power of his artistry and his indomitable spirit.
His music definitely took on another layer after he passed.
It did. It became not just a testament to his life, but a source of comfort and a profound inspiration to countless fans, even after his death, serving as a reminder of his enduring message of hope and perseverance.
So the illness started in 2016.
That's right. In August 2016, a mere 5 years after his stunning debut album and just months after releasing Changes, Bradley fell gravely ill.
Just terrible timing.
Awful timing. This devastating news forced him to cancel a planned Canadian tour and an important appearance at the prestigious Cambridge Folk Festival, which was scheduled for July 30th of that year. This marked the very difficult and public beginning of his health decline.
And it was cancer.
It was. The battle he was fighting was a formidable and aggressive one: stomach cancer. It was a swift, cruel, and deeply unfair turn of events for someone who had just found his true calling, who was finally experiencing the joy of connecting with so many fans around the globe, and whose career was at its absolute peak. Despite the diagnosis, he famously tried to continue performing as much as possible, a true testament to his dedication and love for his craft and his audience.
And sadly, on September 23, 2017, Charles Bradley passed away in Brooklyn, New York, at the age of 68.
Gone too soon.
Way too soon. The sources tell us that he was surrounded by his loving family and close friends, a detail that truly warms the heart, particularly when you consider his early life of abandonment and displacement. This intimate scene included members of all the bands he had worked so closely with during his remarkable, if belated, career.
The Daptone family.
Exactly. This detail is particularly touching, emphasizing the strong community, the profound love, and the deep artistic bonds he had fostered in his final glorious years. It speaks volumes about the man he was, beyond just the artist.
Definitely.
Showing that despite a lifetime of hardship and feeling like an outsider, he ultimately found deep connection, belonging, and an expansive family in his final chapter.
And what's truly remarkable and a powerful testament to his enduring impact is that even after his death, Bradley continued to feature on several archive recordings.
Right, his voice lived on.
Testifying to the lasting power and ongoing relevance of his work, his unique voice, brimming with soul, simply could not be silenced. For instance, a posthumous studio album titled Black Velvet was released in 2018 by Daptone's Dunham Records.
Black Velvet, bringing back that old name.
Yeah, nice touch, right? This album was a meticulously curated collection of unreleased tracks, B-sides, and alternate takes, providing fans with entirely new material and allowing his artistry to continue to evolve and be appreciated even beyond his lifetime. It felt like a final gift from Charles.
That's lovely. And there were live recordings, too.
Yes, essential live recordings, such as a powerful performance from the legendary Apollo Theater.
Wow, the Apollo again. Full circle.
Absolutely full circle. Captured as part of the Daptone Super Soul Review release, the significance of this particular venue cannot be overstated, bringing his journey right back to the place of his childhood inspiration, where he first saw James Brown. These recordings allow us to experience his electrifying stage presence and the profound connection he made with audiences, almost as if he were still there performing for us.
And his music kept appearing in other places, too, right? Singles, collaborations.
It did. His musical presence continued to be felt powerfully through posthumous singles and collaborations. We saw the release of deeply moving tracks like Lonely as You Are and Lucifer in 2019, showcasing even more of his diverse emotional range.
Okay.
He also collaborated on Grant Green with Mr. Jukes in 2017 and Otis with Eddie Mitchell also in 2017, demonstrating his willingness and ability to connect with different artists and expand his sound even in his final works.
And even beyond music.
Yeah. Beyond dedicated music releases, his unique voice found its way into various other media, demonstrating his broad and surprising cultural impact. He lent his distinctive singing voice to the character of Krampus in the American Dad episode Minstrel Krampus in 2013.
Huh. I remember that.
A surprising and delightfully unexpected appearance that brought his voice to a comedic, animated context. His powerful song, Aided a Sin, was prominently featured in the Marvel Netflix series Luke Cage in 2017.
Yeah, perfect fit for that show.
Bringing his raw soul to a whole new generation of viewers and perfectly underscoring a pivotal moment in this show. And as recently as 2023, a poignant cover of Sixto Rodriguez's I'll Slip Away appeared on the compilation album Light in the Attic and Friends.
Still reaching people.
Constantly. All these appearances, both planned and posthumous, serve to underscore the incredible, timeless quality of his work and how it continues to resonate across different platforms and forms of media, constantly reaching new listeners and solidifying his place as a true soul legend.
So as we draw to a close on this section, what does all of this signify? Charles Bradley's life was nothing short of a masterclass in human perseverance.
Absolutely.
A testament to enduring unimaginable hardship with an unbroken spirit. And his death, though heartbreakingly premature, didn't silence his voice. Instead, it solidified his legend, cementing his place in the pantheon of soul greats.
Well said.
His music, his deeply personal story, his indomitable spirit, they all continue to inspire and resonate with profound authenticity, proving that true soul, the kind that comes from the very core of one's being, is absolutely timeless. It's a powerful reminder that some voices are simply too profound, too powerful to ever truly fade away.
Hear, hear. Hashtag outro.
We've truly taken a deep dive into the extraordinary, often unbelievable life of Charles Bradley today.
Quite the journey.
From his early years of profound hardship and utter obscurity, through his incredible against-all-odds discovery in his early 50s, to his meteoric rise as the screaming eagle of soul, and his truly enduring legacy. You've heard how every single one of his personal struggles, every single tear in triumph, infused every note he sang.
Yeah.
Making his music not just entertaining, but profoundly authentic, touching the deepest parts of your own soul.
And what's truly fascinating here is how Bradley's story transcends the realm of just music, doesn't it?
It really does.
It's a powerful, almost mythological narrative about the sheer strength of the human spirit to overcome what seem like insurmountable adversities, to never, ever give up on a deeply held dream, and to ultimately find one's true identity and voice, even when it feels like time is rapidly running out. His journey truly makes you consider the profound, inseparable connection between an artist's entire life story and the incredibly powerful, heartfelt art they create.
Yeah, that link is undeniable.
Every crack in his voice, every guttural cry was a chapter of his life, a testament to the journey he undertook.
So, as you reflect on Charles Bradley's incredible moving life, consider this. If we, as a listening and appreciating public, only ever knew artists at the absolute peak of their fame.
Right, the finished product.
Exactly. How many equally incredible, equally inspiring stories of perseverance and truly late-blooming talent would we completely miss?
So many, probably.
And what does that tell us about the hidden gems waiting to be discovered? Or perhaps the profound, unfulfilled dreams we still hold within ourselves, just waiting for their moment to take flight?
That's a powerful thought to leave with.
His journey truly makes us question the value we place on instant gratification versus the enduring power of a life patiently lived and authentically expressed.